I just want to make sure we all understand what Article 5 is. The meat of it is only 90 words. The entire article is 140 words. The second half, that I won't bother reading, just says make sure that all states get their vote. But the meat of it, I'm going to read it. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or, on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states, shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which, in either case, shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of this Constitution when ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress. So this gives these two options, and they're presented equally. Whenever 2/3 of both houses, meaning the Senate and the House of Representatives back in Washington, they propose amendments to the Constitution, that's what we're used to. That's the only amendment successful that we have seen, but it gives equal power and equal attention to the other way, and that is when the states decide that we want to propose a constitutional amendment. And so it says, or, on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states, shall call a convention proposing those amendments. And then it says, after it says, either way, then it has to be ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states. So let's not get too scared by this, because the balances of power in here, as put forth by the amazing wisdom of the founders of this nation, those checks and balances are in place. So the only thing to me that makes me concerned is there's no direction that says, and here's how the delegations of each of the states shall be sent to those conventions, to that convention. How do we come up with that? Well, we need to arm wrestle each state and figure out, how does it happen? Does the governor appoint? Does the legislature vote somehow? Do the people vote? I don't know. That's left up to the states. That's the only thing where I really scratch my head. After that, boy, I think this is a powerful and important way for us to amend the Constitution when we find it necessary as the people, when we know the Congress themselves would not do so. As Representative Pico said earlier, what about a balanced budget amendment for the federal government, as most of the states have, or term limits on Congress, those sort of things that they would never vote on to themselves? That's the sort of thing that we might want to take advantage of this other opportunity to go amend the United States Constitution. So I don't find it scary at all. I think it's wisdom. I don't think it's something that we ought to shy away from, and I think it would be wise of us to not vote for this resolution. I think we ought to keep our position in place as a state and get ready to join the others if that occasion arises. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Beasley.